Okay, so we're back working on the Herald 1360 behind me. Last time I got the engine started, the freshly rebuilt engine, but it was leaking. So first thing I've got to do is get the water out of the radiator and see if the rear core plug off the head will come off without too much of a fight, and then come up with some method of getting it back in again. So cross my fingers, get the bonnet open and see how that goes, because I really don't want to have to take the head off. Or really, I don't want to do all the disassembly involved to get to the point of taking the head off. So I'm just draining a bit of coolant out the engine. I quite like these older style brass drain taps because you can actually get a bit of hose on them quite easily, which means less, well, I've still got water on the floor. And obviously when this is actual coolant as well, it's less easy to clean up. So let's see what access looks like. That took an extremely long time. It can only have been the tiniest of leaks because it was really quite solidly in there. Anyway, it's out now. My plan for fitting is to try and get a sash cramp, push it in. Might be most easily done with the radiator off, which is easy enough. There are a couple of bits and pieces that I can get done while I'm waiting for the bits to turn up. But right now, I'm quite knackered, so I'm going to have a quick rest. I've got things like suspension to torque down and bonnet fit to fiddle with, again now the engine's in, and so on. Right now, bit of a tidy up and a cup of tea I think. So I've had an order turn up very quickly from James Paddock, and I've got some sealant, some core plugs, and a couple of rocker cover gaskets. See, it's busted up. So I thought I'd give the silicone one a try. And I've got a cork as backup, and then I've got a spare in case. So I've got a full gasket set otherwise, a full head set. Anyway, I'm going to dig out probably these sash cramps. I've got some others, and see if we can contrive something to pull or push the core plug into the head from using the clamp. So I've got the radiator drained and back off. So now I've got to see what sort of clamp mechanism I can contrive. So got the fan belt off as well, just to give myself a bit of clearance. The general idea is to do that, which should work. Well, let's check the core plug is the right size, which it is.
So I tried a lot of stuff here in order to get this clamp idea to work, and the upshot is it really didn't. So I got a bit of sealant around the core plug, and with the clamp I got it seated, but then I ended up moving to just hammering it in, there was just enough clearance to do.
Right, so the newest core plug has had overnight for the sealant to set. I've just given all the exhaust manifold bolts, both on to the block, to the head, and to the exhaust downpipe, a nip up. So they're all as tight as is sensible, I think, at the moment. And they did feel a little loose, so whether that was just the initial vibration of the engine, or I didn't have them tight enough in the first place, whatever. So hopefully that's not going to have an exhaust leak. I've decided I'm going to put the heater box back on because actually it's not that much effort to take back off. And if I didn't put it back on, I'd have to drain the rad anyway. Yeah, and get the fan belt back on and all that sort of stuff, and then we will try and start it again. Okay, so got the radiator back in, got the rocker cover back on with a silicone gasket. Radiator's filled up, put a bit of extra oil in to connect up the fuel and see if it'll start again. And hopefully get a proper braking run done this time. Okay, got the coil momentarily disconnected. Going to give it a quick crank with no ignition to make sure we've still got oil pressure and get it running. We're running fine. No horrible smoke this time. It smells a bit because obviously there's stuff burning off as it warms up, but it's looking good. Okay, so we've been running at high-ish RPM for 20 minutes, so that should be braking complete, hopefully. This is just our idle. With I've had to loosen off the throttle cable. I had that a bit tight. So I had to grab the timing light and see if I can see where we are dynamic timing wise, or running timing wise. So if my timing marks on the pulley are visible. Yeah, those DIY timing marks did not work at all. Let's see what the mixture's like. Lean. Alright, so the carbs are out of balance enough that I need to get the linkages loosened off and play with that. And the garage is smelling quite fumey after 20 minutes of running, so I'm not going to do that now. The owl agrees. If you can hear that, well, that's it. It's running. Got the suspension to torque down, gearbox tunnel to fit, prop shaft to connect up, brakes to bleed, carpets to put in, windscreen to put in. I'll probably fiddle with the bonnet adjustment, but there's not a lot left. Alright, it's a bit short one this week, but the engine's back together fully. It runs, doesn't leak, it's broken in, and that's the really big job over with. So next time we're just going to blast through and do all of the tiny little bits that need doing to put the car really back on the road. So there's all sorts, fitting interior trim. You sort out things like the door check straps, and just all the tiny little things. Getting the windscreen in, it's quite a big thing. But I feel here was a kind of a logical, sensible point to break. And that means the next episode is going to be basically wrapping up the Herald for now. It hopefully will be done, be able to get out for an MOT, and it's probably I probably need to do a bit of maintenance on the Spitfire, to be honest. But then it's starting to think about how do we get to the point of working on GT6. Anyway, that's all for the future. So for now, thanks for watching, thanks for commenting, thanks for subscribing. See you later.